this morning with Eric Lindemood. One of the things that we all need in order to do business is credit card processing, some kind of finance, payroll services, and your company, Payroc, does that.
Absolutely.
So tell me about Payroc.
Right. Payroc is a direct processor. There's only a handful of direct processors in the U.S. Payroc is one of them. We provide solutions for online payments or online invoicing, as well as, the most simplest form is the credit card processing. When you go to those stores and you swipe your card, or your tap to pay is a new thing now. That's what we do. The whole gamut of payment acceptance and payment processing.
That's awesome. But it really is more than just that swipe oftentimes. We actually had a conversation earlier, and one of the things that came up was, I think we're all tired of talking about the pandemic, but I also think it's realistic to understand that people were really forced to pivot during the pandemic. I know a lot of businesses who never thought they would be more than a brick and mortar, kind of a Main Street business that took on online sales, or went into the digital environment maybe before, or even if they never thought they were going to. And so now, 18 months later, we're looking at our profit and loss statements and looking at our bank accounts and going, wow, why is the cost of doing business gone up?
Right, absolutely. And I think that's where a direct processor can really help small businesses or businesses of any size. So in this space, a lot of things that happen is, one of the things that happen is that resellers come into the market, buy from companies like ours, and resell. And so when you work with a reseller or a third party, then your expenses are much higher. Whereas as a direct processor, we have some of the lowest rates on the market, or probably the lowest rates on the market, and have access to technology that really boosts business, whether it's online invoicing or integration into your websites, things like that. So you're absolutely right. We can reduce costs and provide services that really help increase business that's very beneficial for businesses.
So when I have done these small business spotlights in the past, we've always talked about 4 basic questions. So first question, why Casper?
That's a great question. We chose Casper. I grew up in a small town in the Northwest, so I'm from this part of the U.S. And left about 20 some years ago, left Oregon and lived in different places across the U.S. For the past 10 years, I've been in the mining industry in West Africa. And when we came back to the U.S., we my wife and I were thinking about where do we want to settle down. And Casper really ticked those boxes in terms of just environment, the climate, and also a lot of the traditional values that we still find here. This reminds me of the Oregon that I left 20 years ago, and so we really found a home here. We've been here for over a year now, and just love it. And our roots are definitely planted. We're here to stay. The craft beer space, for example, where I have some clients, they're growing. I think that's great to see unique offerings that are I think very unique to a smaller community. And I think it's wonderful to see that, see growing businesses in this area.
Yeah, I think so too. And that just sense of young entrepreneurship.
Absolutely.
I think that's one of the things that is so invigorating about a community, and a community that has a bright future, is that young people are taking those chances and really building their own businesses, which is great to see.
Absolutely. No, you're right.
So the second question is, what do you find is the most consistent business need?
In my space, I would say that's probably transparency. I find a lot of my clients don't know exactly what they're actually paying, and if they do know what they're paying, it wasn't what they were promised before. And I think that it's been in this particular space that it's been the Wild West. It's been a case where agents can do what they want. They can apply certain fees on certain technology as well as processing, and I just find that a lot of them did not know what they were getting into. And so I think that often happens because they were dealing with resellers or third parties, and there's only a handful of direct processors in the US, and Payroc is one of them. And then bringing that transparency and say, this is what you're going to pay, there are no contracts involved, and if there's a difference with what I promise you, then you can always cancel. And I give them that opportunity, because transparency, I think, is key, is to know what they're getting into, because this part of the business is a very crucial part. How much you pay to accept payments is a very substantial part of any business plan.
So from my own experience, I know that oftentimes folks are really they choose to change credit card processors because of a person. And so having you in market here is also a really unique strategy, isn't it?
It is, absolutely, and I mentioned that to all of my clients, but also they mentioned it to me, is that they have been solicited by other agents, usually from other states. They come up here and get their business, and they never see them again.
Yeah.
And I tell them, I'm here in the community. I'm a part of the community. I'm only 10 minutes away because Casper is not a big town,
right?
And I can service your needs, and they need that. People need to know they can always accept payments, because if you can't accept a payment for any reason, whether it's the internet or whether it's the terminal or whether it's an online glitch, you need to have a backup solution. You need to have someone that can answer your questions, because the biggest issue is not knowing why you can do what you need to do in order to accept payments.
And I think that's one of the biggest challenges of being an entrepreneur and a sole proprietor, is that we're end up being jacks of all trades, and I think oftentimes we feel like master of none. So having somebody who really knows and understands the business, especially something that technical, is really a benefit.
And I think you touched on a great point on technology. I believe that in the next year, 2 years, 3 years, technology is going to be an increasing part of payment acceptance. We've gone from just the terminals we have inside of stores to online payment acceptance, to emails that send invoices, whether it's payments through ACH or through cards. But technology is an increasingly part of any business, whether it's a small business, in my larger businesses as well. Technology is I think a crucial part to, I think, sooner or later we might even get rid of those payment terminals and go with a purely online technology payment acceptance form. I believe that.
So third question, tell me about a success story.
One of my clients last year talked to me about the fact that COVID took a really big toll on their business, and they were seriously considering closing their business down and not going through 2023. And so based on our conversations and realizing that they were overpaying on payment acceptance, and I was able to reduce those fees by more than 70%, they said, Eric, we can actually consider 2023 and see what 2023 has to offer for our business. That's what I love. For me, that's a success story. How can I help someone, and in this case, help them from shutting their doors? Yeah.
One of the things that I think is really important too, and I've seen it just in the short amount of time that I've known you, it's that relationship building. I think that's pure money in the business space. When you have an opportunity to build a relationship with a vendor, a business need, where it's somebody that's more, it's a person, it's more than just a 1-800 number. You're more than a number in a queue somewhere.
Absolutely.
So I think that relationship aspect of it is really important for us in Wyoming as well.
It is. I think that business for me fundamentally is relationships.
Yep.
It's feeling comfortable with the person you want to trade with or do business with, and I think that's equally true for merchant services or payment acceptance. Absolutely.
Fantastic. So fourth and final question. So tell me about what your hopes are. What do you think the future of Casper is?
I think we're a growing community, and I think we're going to continue to grow, continue to have thriving businesses that offer unique products, unique services, and I think that adapting to different customer needs in terms of payment acceptance, and I think that's the future of Casper. It's having unique products. I think that we're a community that loves homegrown products. We love things that come from Wyoming. We love working with people in Wyoming, and I think that's the future. Is less maybe big box companies and more of those family-run businesses. I think that's the future.
So you have just joined us for the very first Casper Area Chamber of Commerce Business Spotlight. I'm the new CEO and President, Tina Hobelheinrich, here at 500 Center. We have been with Eric Lindemood with Payroc, just getting to know him, getting to know the business. Eric, how do people find you?
There are two easy ways to find me. The easiest way is the Chamber of Commerce websites. They can look up Payroc, Payroc, on the Chamber of Commerce website under member directory, or you can give me a call, 307-337-9771.
Yep.
Give me a call.
Awesome. So our chamber website is casperwyoming.org. Go to the membership directory and look for Payroc. So thanks so much for joining us, and thank you, Eric. Thanks to Payroc. Have a great day.
Thank you, Tina.